Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. This is a review of Black Mirror, Netflix streaming series. So I first heard about Black Mirror from one of my coworkers. He mentioned Black Mirror and said that if you liked Twilight Zone, then you might like Black Mirror because it's similar to that. So I made kind of a mental note of it, and just recently, this past week, I had a lot of time off, so I took a look at it on Netflix, and it's really bad in my opinion. Let me go back a bit for a second though, and explain something about myself. I love Twilight Zone. I like the original series. I like the 80s revival. I don't so much like the 2000s series revival that they did. I love The Outer Limits. I love all shows like that. I think they're great when they're done well, hence why I didn't really like the 2000s revival. I don't think it was done as well. So going back to Black Mirror, it's very poorly done in my opinion. It's predictable. It's too predictable. The first episode, they have the British Prime Minister gets a video message about the princess. Some princess has been kidnapped, and the video message says basically that if they don't want her killed, he's going to kill her unless the British Prime Minister is a pig. Okay, that's a really strange request. Ordinarily, but it's like, okay, she dies or you a pig. Well, that seems pretty simple to me. But here's the thing: the British Prime Minister ends up saying, "Well, I'm not gonna a pig." Okay, I know exactly how this episode's going to end. He's going to the pig. And that's exactly what happens. We go through all these machinations of trying to find out where the guy is, all these things, they send out basically the British version of a SWAT team to where they think he is, and he's not there. All these things happen. They're gonna try to set it up, like make it look like it's him, but it's not really him. And the guy has already given them all these specifications, and we basically know where it's headed. He ends up having to the pig. And the only real twist is that you occasionally see this guy working in a workshop, and it turns out that it was this art project. This guy was trying to do this massive art imitating life project, and he ends up killing himself, but not until he has released the princess. He releases her 30 minutes before the Prime Minister does the deed. He never finds that out. They don't tell him because it would destroy him. So the very first episode, entirely predictable. The second episode is about society is based on people, almost everyone, rides a bike to generate electricity or some kind of power. They earn points for this, and they can spend points on their in-game persona. And they watch a reality show that people can buy a ticket to get onto. And in the episode, this guy, he hears someone singing that he works with, and he thinks that she sounds wonderful. He happens to have the number of points necessary to buy the ticket. He got them because his brother died and left him all of his points, and he had racked up millions of points. So he buys the ticket, he gives it to her, she gets on the show. Turns out they don't like her singing, but they do think she looks somewhat attractive, and they want to stick her on a porn channel. Well, so the alternative is that she keeps riding the bike. Nobody likes to ride the bikes. Again, it's obvious where this is going to go. She takes the porn channel because as degrading it gets her away from the bike, and she ends up being able to live a much more comfortable life, and all she has to do is do some porn. So no big deal, right? And then the guy who got her the ticket, he is upset and angry about the whole situation, And see, they have to watch the commercials for things when they come on in their little cubicle. They have to watch the commercials. They can sense your eyes. Then he closes his eyes and the commercial stops playing and won't play until he opens his eyes. Now he can buy his way past the commercial. Well, he could have bought his way past the commercial when he had millions of these points, because they deduct some points. Now he can't. He doesn't have them anymore because he bought the golden ticket. Well, he gets frustrated, destroys the cubicle, gets a piece of glass, and decides that he's going to re-earn these millions of points. It takes him about 3 months. We know because there's a mark on his hand that he got when he went with her, and they told him it would last a couple months. The mark slowly disappears, and I'm guessing it took about another month for him to get all these points. Anyway, he buys another golden ticket. He smuggles the piece of glass onto the show, threatens to kill himself while making this rant about how everything's fake, and there's, these people that run this show, they're the ones that are responsible for everyone doing all this fake shit that has absolutely no purpose, no real purpose. And what happens? They offer him a show. Obviously not on the porn channel, but they offer him a show. And he stands there in just kind of awe and disgust that what was meant to be a rant and then probably get arrested or just get kicked off and go back to his bike, it turns out that he's going to get a show out of it. And of course, he takes the deal. And it ends up with him in some kind of an apartment. It appears to be an apartment. He's no longer having to look at screens. He can now look out on the world, and once again, he's living comfortably while everyone else is stuck on their bikes. In the third episode, everyone has these little chips implanted in them, or most people have them. And it allows you to do what's called a redo, where everything you see is recorded and you can rewatch it anytime you want. So occasionally people will redo a memory in order to remember someone, because basically nobody bothers remembering anything. And this one person, he is obsessed with people's body language, the way they look, the way they react, everything. So he redoes these memories constantly, paying very special attention and looking for new things each time, and just it's an obsession. So this obsession leads him to believe that his wife, who he knows had a relationship with someone a long time ago, he sees this person again, or he sees this person he believes it's for the first time. He doesn't have any recorded memory of that person. He sees this person for the first time, and he knows that she dated this person before they got married, but he thinks that she's still attracted to him. Now, his intuition turns out to be right, but it's based on the fact that he redoes this memory, the memories that he sees of her seeing him over and over and over and over. So anyway, he gets her to admit that her previous relationship with him was much longer than she originally said it was. He then goes to the guy's house and has him delete all those memories, except that as he's deleting them, he's looking at them and he can see the time frames of when the memories were, and one of them wasn't years ago as he thought. One of them was from much more recently, within the past 2 years. So after he was married to this lady, he then goes back home, confronts her, gets her to admit that yes, well, he has the footage, so she gets her to tell him, or to basically acknowledge it, because again, he's got the footage. She acknowledges it. It was, they had split up. He had left for a few days, and she went back to this other guy, and they had a fling. and all he can do throughout the whole episode is replay all these memories. And the episode ends with him being alone because, well, she left him. And so he is left replaying all the happy memories from his marriage. There's even a scene before all that happens where they're in bed together and they're replaying themselves. They're replaying themselves making love, but they're replaying it. So they're in bed together. They are making love, but what they're replaying is a much different time period. And they're in a completely different position. But when it's shown, you see them and you're okay, and then they show you what's actually going on, and it's like, okay, that's really weird. So everyone is doing this type of thing. Everyone's replaying memories that they prefer over the experiences that they're having right now. So that was probably the weirdest scene, but again, it was still a very predictable episode because you can tell from the very beginning of the episode that he's obsessed with people's body language in such a way that since he has this memory recorded, he can replay it and reanalyze it over and over and over, and it ends up costing him everything in the end. So, in case it's not clear, I did not like Black Mirror. I just don't think it's very well done. Again, it's done in the style of Twilight Zone, and it lacks that actual twist of, oh wow, I didn't see that coming, like the original Twilight Zone had. I watched 3 episodes. I think that's more than enough to give a show a chance. I won't be watching anymore. If you think I'm wrong, comment below. If you like this video, be sure to hit like, and otherwise, be sure to hit subscribe to get my updates. Thanks for watching.